this is why I came here, is to live in this house, to be able to look out at those trees and the ones over there. We were also faced with the question of logging in Galliano Island, which happened right on our doorstep. So the kind of, sometimes the problems come to you. You don't go looking for something to change.
The first hard thing in my life was being in England during the Great Depression. I was teaching in London by the end of the war, and living literally from hour to hour, and came to Canada with my husband. And we wanted to have children of our own, and we couldn't have children, and so we adopted. And then, of course, I stopped teaching and became a house mother, home mother for 15 years, because we adopted 6 children.
I have African cousins, and I went on safari in Kenya, and it was wonderful. But there were things bothering me, things I saw at the side of the road, things I saw and I questioned. So my cousin said, okay, I'm going to show you the other side, and she did. And it was totally horrible. When I got back, it wouldn't leave me, and I wanted to do something. I didn't know what to do.
I went to Clayoquot Sound, which happened to be going on that very summer. It was McMillan Bladel, clear-cutting, old-growth forest, 1,000-year-old trees, and the last remaining old-growth temperate rainforest on the planet, for God's sake. And I was arrested, along with 60 other, no, pardon me, I'm exaggerating, it was about a group of about 20 got arrested from all across Canada, quite impressive.
I was invited to go to Ethiopia, and I went, and these people don't pull any punches. I saw some terrible stuff. And so there I was, able to help, and I was helping to put in water systems, more or less financially at the time. I was providing all this stuff to ICROS, and then it went from there, and it changes you, you know. You go to these places, you're never the same. You never are.
I started working as a social worker. And because I was doing social work on a part-time basis, I decided I'd go to university. So at the age of 52, I went to Concordia and got myself qualified as a social worker. And then my husband died, and that changed everything. And, you know, we'd had so many plans. I'm sure that a lot of married couples make them, well, we'll do this when we retire, and we'll do that when we retire, and then you don't retire. So, or you don't retire together, and that was a bit hard.
The biggest blow to me was I went to Ethiopia, and I think it was 2005, and we went up into the highlands to a village, and it was dreadful. I've never seen anything like it. Every child was sick. The nurse came to us, and he spoke to us. I felt like I was up the front, and said, nobody comes. Nobody comes up this far. If you don't help us, nobody will.
It's always been about speaking for the entire community, and in fact speaking for things that can't speak for themselves, and that's kind of what gets you into it in the first place. Practices, in a sense, I guess, cultivating friendship, or knowing that you have friends and allies, is reassuring and kind of psychologically healthy to, you know, not experience being isolated.
I just get going on something. I mean, I really don't just sit and brood over it, and I mean, that has been a definite. That's been a definite plan. That's something I know I have to do, because otherwise I would just sit there and mope. Well, I suppose I couldn't, because the dog would want to go out. I don't. But no, I really do think that you have to have something. I, anyway, have to have something that I know I can do, and I know I get satisfaction out of, which is making bears or dolls to go to Africa, or.
And These are small knitted stuffed dolls. And I know people have said to me, these children need a lot more than dolls. And I said, yes, they do. But the thing is, these dolls take the place of bubble wrapping containers. They'll go into corners of any bag. When the containers get there and they're unloaded, instead of garbage to throw away, we've got gifts for the kids. I always feel that there's never enough. Of course, I would like to get my hands on all sorts of more money, more stuff to help. But I meet people who are so good that I feel really blessed that I've met these people.
Quiet, walking, things like drawing are very kind of therapeutic. So I find that, having some creative output for that experience is very useful and rewarding, counterbalances.
The other thing is, I've had to learn that I am very lucky. Feeling miserable or feeling guilty won't work. Why? Because it's not going to help anybody over there. Sharing is the way to go about it. And I've got a little book, and it may sound funny, but it's the wisdom of the Dalai Lama, and he really helps.
I'm actually prone to depression and have been all my life. And I think that it's one of the ways of overcoming that has made me always sort of keep myself busy. And I'm much better if I'm busy with other people than if I'm just isolated and busy on my own.
If you feel you don't have anything you can give because you don't have any money or you don't have this, ask anyway, because there's always something you can do, and everything's needed, and you would make a difference. It's your drop in the bucket.
Buckminster Fuller, having been asked one time by a young person in a letter, how do you decide what you do, what you really want to do in life? And Bucky wrote back saying, you look around and you see what there is that you see that seems to need to be being done, but no one else seems to be doing it. That's probably what your life's work is going to be.
In this day and age, it seems to me it's not so much hopelessness as sadness, because there's so much that is absolutely horrifying going on in the world. I think if you feel you're doing something, I feel if I'm doing something, however little it is something. It's the sort of one drop in the bucket. But then one drop leads to lots of other drops.